morning. Thanks for being here. I really appreciate you, every single one that tunes into this channel, and I really appreciate just having this space that I've sort of carved out for myself, strangely, on YouTube or wherever you pick up these videos. This morning I'm contemplating pain because Tim's numbers, as they rise, the pain that he experienced before he was diagnosed is returning. It's kind of in his suboccipital region, the lower part of his head and neck, and his facial bones. Overall in his body he feels like an old man, so that's kind of what multiple myeloma can do to you when the numbers really run away. And it's making me think about pain and just what purpose pain serves us. And I've worked with people going through pain, physical pain, emotional pain, spiritual pain, in a lot of different arenas. For myself, I think my biggest experiences of pain were childbirth. Just feeling this overwhelming sensation that there's no way to escape it. Fortunately, both births went well in the end. I think after the first one, I was in labor for 60 plus hours, and she just didn't want to come out. And I was doing home births for both my daughters, and kind of into started Sunday night, ended Wednesday night. During the day on Wednesday, we were talking about maybe transporting to the hospital. And then another midwife came in and said, "You're capable. A birthing woman is far more capable of enduring this than you could ever dream possible." So it just sort of kicked something into gear for me and allowed me to just accept the feelings that were going on in my body and to not resist them. And several hours later, that led to my water breaking and giving birth. And with the second birth, I went into the whole thing and I just decided to label it as a sensation, and I removed the word pain from my vocabulary and just said, this is a big sensation. And my body is very capable of having big sensations, and it's just telling me that something is happening right now that requires my full undivided attention. And it's my body opening to release this being into the world, and that is worthy of a big sensation. With cancer and with Tim's numbers climbing, for a long time he experienced pain and tried to deal with those pain symptoms in lots of different ways. He pursued a lot of alternative treatments. Sometimes it was an extra beer, thinking, well, maybe I'll feel better if I just kind of numb out a little bit, and that never really helped. It would just kind of return the next day even worse. So he used quite a bit of non-steroidal anti-inflammatory meds, like Tylenol, acetaminophen, ibuprofen, anti-inflammatories. Those things didn't really help. Meditation helped, but only to a point. He had like a 2 to 3 hour routine he would do before bed just to calm his body down enough to be able to sleep. And I watched this from a distance for a long time. And I watched him go through all of his routines, and I just thought, God, this isn't normal. You know, I just didn't know if he had like a, some people just experience pain differently than others, and I thought maybe he just had a really low pain tolerance. And we just don't know what's wrong. And it wasn't until his kidneys went into kidney failure and he really was at death's door when they kind of pulled out all the stops and pulled all the labs and looked at him and said, you are really sick. You are really, really sick. And we need to give you, full undivided attention right now, right here, right now. And I think when pain reaches that point, it's like you can't do anything but attend to it. And in my line of work, I've seen all the ways people try to avoid and distract from it, but there's something about pain that it really makes it hard to ignore. Just it's there until you turn in and attend to it. And I feel like we're in a time right now on our planet when so many people are experiencing pain in so many different ways. There's physical pain that so many people are going through. The numbers of people experiencing cancer, especially in the 50 and under population, is increasing exponentially each year. I'm gonna turn here and just put my attention on this turn. I think people are experiencing emotional pain related to just watching what's unfolding on our planet, whether it's gun violence or terrible, climate events that are just destroying lives and livelihoods and homes, to the wars that are happening in the Middle East, to the kind of undeclared wars that are happening in all kinds of places. And I think it's a crisis of meaning and purpose, and how do we show up on the planet right now and make sense of everything when there's so much pain. And I think that this pain, I believe that it's really, if we tune into it and tune into where that lives inside of us, it will call us to certain actions that are unique to each one of us. And we each have our own journey to travel, and there's no one recipe that will work for everyone. I believe that other people can help us, help us figure that out, but ultimately it's really us tuning in and listening and learning about ourselves and really facing and embracing the discomfort to understand what's there for us to do. Or maybe it's something that's there for us to not do anymore, because it's telling us that we have to shift, sometimes in small ways and sometimes in big ways. And so I think there's purpose in pain, and I've struggled with that personally, because I think on some level I swallowed whatever pill it was that said, like, oh, you should strive for happiness, and when you're good and you're in a good place and life is good and you're living the good life, like, you won't feel pain anymore. And in some ways I think we would be at a loss, like we would be bereft or empty of something if we didn't have the experience of pain in our lives. Because without pain, there's, I think, beauty and joy and all of the good things of life are a little bit more superficial and a little bit less profound, because we don't have that contrast. So I think the contrast of, pain and joy allows us to experience life in a richer way. I think pain allows us to feel more compassion for what other people are going through. Sometimes that's just in our own homes. Sometimes it's on the planet at large. I know for me, a lot of times when I just was at my wit's end because I didn't know what was going on with my husband and the pain seemed so big, and I was just like, I don't know what to do, or is he making this up? Usually it was at that point when I think he was making it up that I would get a rip-roaring headache myself, and I would be in my bed, lights out, curtains drawn, just me and my freaking headache, trying whatever I could, but I just couldn't get it to go away. And it was in those times where I would look at Tim and I would say, holy shit, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that if this is any bit of what you experience all the time, this sucks. And I could feel how much it just would swallow me whole. I couldn't really pay attention to a whole lot else going on around me because the pain was so just there. But I would come out of those feeling all the more grateful and appreciative for what it's like to have a body that's working well, what it's like to be able to show up for things like work or my children's, school activities, or even a trip to the grocery store pain-free. So I think sometimes we're tempted to feel bitter or upset or mad or angry when we experience pain and discomfort, or things aren't going quite right for us. But I think there's a gift in that. And so trying to just embrace the gift, whatever there might be in what's happening right now with his numbers going up again. I think, one thing is he had a conversation yesterday with the oncology team, and just to let them know what symptoms he's having and that they're kind of revving up again, I suggested that he call and just really be frank with them. And he's meeting with palliative care next week, and they had a really good pain regimen down, but he's been off of all of his pain meds. And it's looking like it might be time to revisit some version of his treatment before, while we're trying to figure out what we're going to do to treat the growing light chain numbers. So this time around, pain is a messenger, the action is needed. So, okay, that's my little exploration rant for this morning, and I'm going to keep on moving and head out here to a busier road, so I'm going to sign off for now. But as always, thank you for being here, and I hope that you got something from today. You guys keep telling me that you are, so I just keep sharing what's in my heart to share as I go through my own life journey.